Our parents thought it would be a good thing if Shirley learnt to play the piano. So she went to the school teacher's wife over at the Merrick School and she brought the books home. And it was pretty obvious after a short time that she wasn't very interested in playing the piano. But she was interested in singing. Now for the younger generation, you won't know what I'm talking about. But there was a group of them, Ron and Tony and Peter and Shirley, and they used to sing the songs that Peter, Paul and Mary sang. Now the young people won't know what I'm talking about, but Shirley was very much like like Judy Durham in the sequel.
Yes.
And so she concentrated on singing rather than playing the piano. But the interesting thing was that Ross looked at the books that Shirley had taken home supposedly to practice from, and he learned to play the piano. No lessons, and not only did he learn to play the piano, but he was a very accomplished pipe organist.
Yes.
And he played regularly at the cathedral for their church services and for funerals and weddings and whatever. So I just want to pay tribute. I'm trying to be sensitive for the family, but I felt we must pay tribute to Ross was 13 months younger than me. Ross had one problem at one stage in his life. And that problem was his sister. Shirley. Now Shirley has the reputation of being late. I mean late. And but they both worked in Arndale, and Ross used to take Shirley to work, and she was never ready. Ross was outside the house where Grant and Julie and the boys lived, and he'd be there blowing the horn, revving the motor, tapping his finger on the steering wheel and wriggling and waiting for Shirley. Well, it all came to a head one morning because they were late and Ross was trying to get to work for morning tea time, and down the Mad Mile below the Girraween service station, flying down there, and poor old Jock Jackson came across the street. Ross had right of way, but Ross took the front out of his car and the side out of his, and Jock said, "I didn't see him coming." Well, would you see a speeding bullet if it was coming at you? He was absolutely floored. So it came to a head. Now I was just under 6 years of age when Shirley was born, and the whole thing was shrouded in mystery. Mum went into her parents' place to live, and Ross and I were farmed out to the other grandparents. We didn't know what was going on. Nobody told us that we were going to have a little sister. It wasn't mentioned. And so it was the way things were done. But Ross and I, when we were in my grandma and grandpa's place. We were talking to this kid over the fence, and he's a little bit older than us, but he seemed to be very knowledgeable. And he was saying, "Oh, what are you doing here?" "Well, you know, we think our mother is waiting for the doctor." And he said, "Well, that's funny. My mother is waiting for the doctor too, because they said she swallowed a pumpkin seed." So Ross and I talked about this, and we thought, well, that's what's happened. Mum has, and when I thought she had changed shape a bit, so she was obviously swallowed a pumpkin seed. So we went, but we knew nothing about it. No one told us. We were in ignorance that there was going to be a little sister in our house. One day Dad came to our grandparents where we were staying and said, "Oh, you've got a little sister." "Oh." And we've called her Shirley Jones. Right. So we were taken to see the little sister, and the interesting thing was that Shirley was born in a midwife's sort of private place in Brown Street. And
remember that?
I don't remember that.
Before you were told.
The thing was that in those days she was confined in the hospital for 2 weeks, and she wasn't allowed to put her feet on the floor for 1 week.
Your mother?
No, sorry. She wasn't allowed, so it's different nowadays, I'm sure. Well, that's a bit about Ross and a bit about Shirley. Now Neville's going to have something to say, so fasten your safety belts.
Your birthday was pretty traumatic. Michelle couldn't walk for a week or so. I mean, for a year or so. Anyway, here we are again. Happy as can be. In-laws and outlaws together. Shirley had a bit of trouble with the 2 boys. I think that's why she's glad I came along. Somebody that's a bit sensible in the family came along. Anyway, on this auspicious occasion, Shirley turned 80, not quite, on Monday, it was 80. Pretty good innings. Not too good for people who want to give her a present though, because what do you sort of can't give her 12 months edition of a magazine. So got to be a bit careful.
That's nice.
She's always been a good sister, and she's been a good to our kids. We got a couple of albums full of photos of Jeremy when he was a baby. She was always snapping photos of Jeremy when he was little. Tim got probably not as many, and Holly not many at all. But she was always snapping kids' photos, and she still keeps in contact with all the grandkids. And they all love that, don't you? Yeah. She looks good for 82, doesn't she? What else we got here? Somewhere to cut out that.
I did.
He's surprised. I'm very proud of Shirley when I said the date here. It was when the Queen's coronation was on, the late Queen, yeah. All the schools in Australia were asked to choose a pupil at the school to write a letter to the Queen. I don't remember that, but Shirley was chosen from Generic School. And from what I heard, she was the only one that could write there or not. Big possibility. All those years, a long time ago, she did not receive a reply, and I guess now she won't. But if she's not to hang out for another 20 years, she may, when she gets to 100, she may get something from in Palace. Hundreds. Maybe.
King Charles.
Oh, she was bridesmaid for their wedding. And, we were dressed in the town in Armadale. And she had all the gear on, the bridesmaid's gear on. I went to put the shoes on. Oh, no shoes. Shoes are like a retard. So she had to drive out the car in the bridesmaid gear, get the shoes, or go to the wedding without shoes. When she got the shoes.
So she was late.
Do you have a right of reply, by the way?
You do remember the washing up time when
Yes.
came time for washing up. Oh, best Shirley, where is she? I was in the toilet. She had a problem after every meal. Not a lot more. Let's say, as I said, I had a couple of things there that I there.
Well, now we're all wondering what they
Well, a very fun story I've got. I can't verify the truth of it, but
Don't let that stop you.
it won't. Shirley's up at the cathedral one day, apparently, and they were looking for a new bell ringer. They lost the bell ringer. So this guy came in, Shirley said, "Can I help you?" He said, "Yeah, I'm after the job of the bell ringer." She said, "Well, I don't want to stay in the this, the devil in the arms." And he said, "Doesn't matter, show me the bell tower, I'll show you what to do." So she said, "Well, it's a bit dangerous up there, man. As soon as they'll do your lunge at the bell, like that, and that's beautiful." So lunge they didn't miss, so they wanted it down. So she cleaned it down. He's down the footpath, and the dean come running out and said, "What's going on? Who is this guy? What's his name?" She said, "I don't know." She said, "But his face rings a bell."
On that note.
Well, as I said earlier, Mum and Dad had 4 kids. Neville was the youngest. And there were 2 reasons why they didn't have any more. The first one was that they'd reached perfection. The second one, I'll let you make up your mind. Ross and I were a little bit jealous of Neville. He was quite young. He had this little standard 10 car, and he had this blonde beside him. He finished up marrying her too. And he used to come home from Leonie's place, where the family was, and in the dark. And Ross and I weren't having a very good time with women at all. We were jealous of him. Here he was, things were running very smoothly. So we thought we'd better try and take the mickey out of him. So the layout of our house was a hallway, and Mum and Dad in their bedroom there, and a bit further on, the 3 of us were in one room. And up the hallway was a hall stand with a pot plant in it, a large one. I think it was a Rittenspora floripunda. I stand corrected if it wasn't. There was a big pot so big, and someone came up with the idea, Neville's sneaking in the dark, let's shift that pot plant into the middle of the hallway and he'll probably bump into it. Well, the car came up the road and heard the back door and come up, and Ross and I were fast asleep, of course, and he did bump into it. He knocked it flying, and he was in a crumpled heap with the pot plant and dirt, everything there, and I thought I heard him say, "I could have been killed." I said, "No, he didn't say that at all. I'm going to kill someone." There's another story, and I can't verify for the truth of this, I'm being honest, Neville. And Neville was courting Leonie, and one night he went to their house, and Leonie was in her room, and he tapped on the window, and Leonie came, and he went to the window and he said, "Leonie, I would climb the highest mountain for you." And then he said, "Leonie, I would swim the deepest river for you." And then he said, "Leonie, I would walk the longest road for you." Just that minute, Leonie's mum came out and said, "That's all very noble, Neville, but just get off my flower garden."
I said, "I'll see you tomorrow night if it doesn't rain."
But there's a more serious story about Neville, and it's quite
This is
serious.
payback.
I know. Their turn's coming. And he had to go to the dentist. He had an infected tooth. And what time was the dentist appointment? 2:30? 2:30? Get it? But anyway, the tooth was infected, and they put him on antibiotics. Didn't fix it. And this is a true story. It's only happened a few weeks ago. And it didn't fix it. He was in agony, this infected tooth, and he went back, more antibiotics, still didn't fix it. So he went back to the dentist, and the dentist said, "The only thing we can do is extract the tooth." Now, he's always been very conscious of his appearance, and this was a front tooth. What am I going to look like with a missing front tooth? And the dentist said, "Well, we can make up a plate and put a tooth on it." "Oh, right. Are you sure that'll be all right?" And he said, "Can I play the trumpet after I've had that plate put in?" And he said, "Yes." And he said to the dentist, he told the dentist, "Are you sure that if you put that plate in with that tooth, I can play the trumpet?" The dentist said, "No worries." Well, Neville said, "That's good, because I couldn't play it before."
That's true. He did.
Shirley never ever married. She had 3 brothers, and she thought all men were like that. But she didn't want one of them. Well, I'm going to ask Shirley to say something. Make a long speech.
What's left? Yeah. What's left to say?
I'll stand up and talk on about something.
I think it's about time we got a bit more serious. What do you think?
More truthful.
More truthful. Okay. Well, it's going to be quite a short speech, of course. Anyway, first of all, I'd like to thank you all of you, just so much for coming tonight. I'm feeling quite overwhelmed, really, by the number of people who could come, and I'm just so happy to see all the family together. It's good. I'd hoped it would be like this, so that we could be all together at the one time, and that was great. And I've met people that I haven't seen for a long time, particularly the young people up in the corner there. Yes, it's terrific. Yeah, absolutely. So this is great to see you all. Thank you for those who have travelled distances to here, either yesterday or this morning, arranging time off and off from work and off from studies at the uni. So that was really good. And for Tim and Catherine and the family who made it after being in Sydney for a netball meeting this morning. So, I mean, that's terrific. They've only just arrived and before dinner, so that was great. So thank you for all of those. Special thanks to Keith and Jean and Grant, and Julie, for arranging this, and organising the details of this whole evening, which has just been so good, hasn't it? It's just worked so well. A little thank you to Emma here too, because she helped produce the invitations, and so thank you for that too, Emma, for your skill in that. But I'm now going to go and think of others who are celebrating this special day, and I'd like to make mention, of course, who are celebrating their wedding anniversary today, and that's congratulations to Andrew and Wendy. Congratulations. Yeah. How many years? 28. Wow. That is good. That's so good.
Are you 30?
30, yeah, but in January. Yeah.
Right. So there's lots of anniversaries. That's great. Good. And then on my birthday date, which will be Monday the 12th, I share it with Zach. Yeah. That was a wonderful surprise to have that wonderful birthday present. So happy.
It was the least you could do.
So happy birthday, happy 17th birthday on Monday as well. And then on Tuesday the 13th, it's a happy birthday to Victoria. And then on Wednesday the 14th, it's happy birthday to Howard.
We timed that specially.
I've often got those dates mixed up, haven't I? I've wished Howard a happy birthday on the 13th. And, anyway, that's good. I think that's all I can embarrass, unless there's somebody else, and they're probably embarrassed to say anyway. Okay. But look, thank you all again very, very much. You've made this night very, very special for me, and it's lovely to see you all, and I hope that you have a good rest tonight, wherever you're staying, and a safe journey back tomorrow for those. And I think Neville and Leonie are staying for a little while longer, so that will be good. Yeah. And I'm so pleased that Keith has mentioned Ross. I'm sure that he would have kept these two in much better line. Anyway, thank you. And I think there's
a few matters to attend to before the cake is cut. I've actually been to quite a number of birthday celebrations, and the singing of Happy Birthday has been atrocious. And I think part of the reason for that is that we come in cold, we haven't lubricated our voices. So what I'm going to suggest we do is, at the count of 3, I want you to go, just get your voices all oiled up, ready to sing. On occasions we have someone have a birthday in our shearing shed, and you never hear anything worse.
Do you get them to...
All right, while we're waiting for this to be set up, I'll count 3, and everyone has to go, just get your voice oiled up. So,
To get the candles.
Oh, I think it's happening now, yeah.
Righto, on the count of 3, all like that. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, yes.
I saw 2 people not doing it. I've got to do it again. Right. On the count of 3, everyone. 1, 2, 3.
Well and truly.
Uh-huh. So Shirley, you stand up and cut the cake and we'll all sing happy birthday.
Where's the Swiss Army knife?
Yeah, okay. Oh, I've got to get that.
So in the key of G sharp minor.
Can you start now?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Auntie Shirley. Happy birthday to you. Hip, 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 She's true, bloke. Ben, lead us out. This is now just the doling out of the cake, isn't it? Okay, I think we can stop the video. Oh, I'll blow the candles out. Auntie, you're going to blow the candles out? Hang on. I'll just get in nice and close here for the action. Put the spit lens on. All right, slow motion. Come on. Actually, I didn't get that. Can we do it again?
I'm out of breath.